Hey guys, in this video we're going to start learning how to use restrictions in Desmos. Now, what is a restriction? A restriction is just as it sounds. It restricts an equation or an inequality. Okay, let's start off with something simple. Let's say if we have the equation y equals 2x minus 1. Now, what if for some reason I had to say I didn't want to graph the entire line, because you know that the equation 2x minus 1, the domain's all real numbers, the range is all real numbers. It just keeps going on and on without end in both directions. But let's say for some reason that I had to graph this equation, but let's say if I wanted it to start at x equals 0, and then I wanted it to end at x equal to 2. Okay, well, this is where the restriction comes in. So Desmos, we have to give it an additional instruction. We have to add some extra stuff in the expression. We have to tell Desmos, look, I only want to graph a piece of this line, not the whole thing. Okay, now the way we do that in Desmos is we use curly braces. Okay, so the curly braces, they're right next to the P button on the QWERTY keyboard. Now, when I add a set of curly braces in the expression that I want to restrict. Okay, so since I'm going to restrict the equation y equals 2x minus 1, I'm going to add the restriction right next to it in that same item. Okay, so we're not going to add a new item in there. It doesn't go by itself. Okay, so let's say if I wanted to start at x equals 0 and I wanted to end at x equal to 2. Okay, so we have to use an inequality in a restriction. So we're going to do 0 less than x less than 2. And there you go. You can see now that the line starts at x equals 0, and then it ends right here at x equal to 2. Now, with the way, if you notice, if you left click on the line, okay, that shows the coordinates of where the mouse thing is. And if you move all the way up to the end of the line segment, it says 2 undefined. Well, that's because of the fact I used a less than. If I use an equal sign, then if I did the same thing, I get 2, 3. So it's defined right there. Okay, but see, for us to restrict it, to give it a starting and stopping point, we have to use a double inequality. Okay, now let's say if we wanted to do the same thing, let's say we only want x bigger than 0. So if we wanted just x bigger than 0, we could just remove the right-hand side of that inequality. Now, maybe that looks a little bit funny for some people, but I will put x greater than 0. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now I've changed the restriction so that it's graph only for x bigger than 0. Okay, so you see that for negative x, there's no line right there. Whoops.